right. Hello. Welcome, everyone. I'm here with Andrea Thatcher, and we're going to be exploring her world and her journey
Yes.
to the world of food, nutrition, fitness, everything she's involved in. She's the author of the wonderful In One End, Out the Other. I'm sure we're going to be talking about that for a little bit here as well. You've got an awesome practice. You see lots of clients. You're helping train personal trainers, deeply immersed in the world of health, wellness, and fitness. Where did it all begin for you?
Malcolm, this will be a little alarming to those who haven't heard this story before. The true story is
Yeah.
23 years I've been involved in the fitness industry, and it all began, I was working as a go-go dancer in a mafia bar.
Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
I know, very few are. True story. I was dealing drugs for a living, always been the entrepreneur apparently.
Right, yeah.
And one day a friend of mine came in and she said, "Hey, do you want to go to the gym?" And I'm like, "Okay." So off we scurry to the gym. I'm 5 foot tall, 89 pounds at the time. And I'm working out and I'm feeling all badass. And this fella approaches me and he says, "Hey, you're doing that exercise wrong. Can I show you how to do it right?" I'm like, "Wow, thank you so much. Thank you." So now when I go back to the gym, I'm even more badass because I know.
Yeah.
So I'm working out. I was approached by a totally different fella. And he's like, "Hey, you're doing it wrong." I'm like, "Why would that other guy lie? Like, what a jerk." Clearly this guy knows. So thank you so much. So naturally we return to the gym back again. I'm working out. And of course I'm approached by a different fella telling me I'm exercising wrong. So those moments in our lives today when we look back and we actually see our path turn completely. It's that monumental moment in time that changed everything. That was my moment because I stood up and I was mad and I wanted to know the answer for myself.
Right.
And that was the moment where my whole path changed. And I went to school to study, at the time it was called aerobics. Today it's called group exercise or boot camp, but it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's back at the time when we wore the thong on the outside of our pants, true story, and the headband with the really big hair. And you knew your hair was big enough because you measured your face, and that's how high your bangs had to be. That's just how big the hair had to be back then when I taught aerobics. So in my aerobics, I thought, wow, I want to do more. So I'm no longer in the mafia bar. I'm no longer in drugs or alcohol anymore. I'm strictly fitness. And I wanted to do personal training. So I went back to school. And that's when I realized anatomy came so easy to me.
Right.
I couldn't figure out how people didn't understand anatomy.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's
right.
perfectly clear.
Yeah.
And I realized, wow, the other students in my class, when they didn't understand anatomy, it took me 3 seconds. And they're like, "Oh, that makes perfect sense." Like, I know, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know I was tapping into my gift at that time. Oh. So naturally, I'm a great personal trainer. That clearly, by osmosis, makes me the best business person on the planet. So we thought. So right. I failed in business numerous times, but figured out the path. So I can't really call it failure. I can only call it I figured out what not to do in business to learn what to do.
Yeah.
So awesome career in fitness. 17 years ago, I was invited to the CanFit Pro team. It was the largest certifying body in Canada for fitness professionals. And for 17 years, I've been teaching and certifying personal trainers across Canada.
Wow.
So it was 13 years ago. I remember the moment. Again, it was a life-turning moment. So at this point, I'm fitness. I'm everything fitness, everything super fitness. And what I didn't mention is I was anorexic at the start of my career. I was, and that's, I think most people in fitness actually are on some end of the spectrum
totally.
of eating disorders. So that'll come up again later. So I remember the moment. I'm suffering severe depression, suicidal depression and anxiety. And I'm working in a gym back in Ontario. And I went into a colleague's office and I'm in the fetal position, rocking back and forth on the chair. "Give me strength to make it through the day. Give me strength to make it through the day." And he looked at me and he said, "Andrea, you need to read this book." And I said, "Man, I can't even, brushing my teeth is a chore. You want me to read a book?" Yeah. And he's like, "Andrea, just make it toilet reading. Just read a paragraph or a sentence." And I'm like, "Fine." So, I finished my work day and I've got this book. And I get home and I did what I was told. I sat on the toilet and I started reading. Mm-hmm. And it was probably an hour later, I'm cold and realizing I'm still sitting on the toilet.
Right.
So you can get up and go read on the couch. But I was so enthralled by this book. And the book was called How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy by Paul Chek. And that was the other moment in my life where things shifted completely for me. It was 13 years ago.
Wow.
And I immersed myself then into natural nutrition. So I've been researching and studied under Lars and David Wolf and of course Paul Chek, and researching all my own natural nutrition path. And naturopaths they're my go-to. And this book birthed out of almost a bet. I think it was like, you can't do that in 3 months or less. I'm like, have we met?
Right.
So out came the book, which is kind of like 100 or so questions, most common questions. We get asked the same questions every day about nutrition that my clients have asked me over the years. And to me, the natural nutrition are a very, very simple approach.
Yeah.
Because my background is anorexia, I understand the negative relationship with self and food, with food as a punishment or food as a reward. And my whole message now regarding nutrition is permission-based versus restriction-based.
Right.
Or food as sustenance, it's not a reward, it's not a punishment. And when people say, oh, I had such a great workout today, I'm going to give myself a treat.
Right.
Yeah, you're not a dog.
Yeah.
You're a person. Food is not a reward for you.
Right.
So I get really passionate about how people abuse themselves with food.
Yeah.
Cheat meals and treating and that type. So the book is about really simple approach to finding peace with self and food again. So it evolved from 23 years of fitness, 13 years of nutrition, and over time we've added in that whole energy piece as well. And
wow, that's
everything comes from here. So long-winded answer to your question.
Oh no,
that's
great.
where it began.
Yeah, and the idea is, I find it so inspiring, right? And that's the hope of others watching as well. Is if you came from an anorexic go-go dancer working in a mafia bar, to where you are
an
now.
Excellent server. I'm just saying, your drinks came fast. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it's so true. You get on this path, and everyone's got an opinion and this and that, and you can be led down, wrong avenues. And I love how you're saying too about shifting that relationship. Food is not a treat; it's about nourishment, and it reminds me as well of this idea of like dieting. Hopefully, which I think we're all moving away from. Of like, well, this is only what you do some of the time, but it's food. Food is life, and how do we healthfully and wholly bring that in? And I love how you're bringing them both together, because I come from the nutrition world, and it sounds like you came originally from the fitness world, and you really married those two together, because that's what it's about, right? It's nourishment, and it's movement, and it's exercise. And because I myself included, I've seen a lot of people immerse so deeply into nutrition, you kind of put the blinders on, and it's like you forget about, well, what are you doing this for? You got to move the body and that exercise, so it's all a part of it.
What's the purpose?
Right.
Yeah. And Corey Lee, of course, she is the queen of the third piece to me in our well-being, which is, oh my God, radical self-care.
Right.
When are we going to pause long enough to take care of ourselves from an energetic standpoint, from a self-love standpoint, from a health, wealth, and relationship standpoint? And, Corey works solely with women, although I think it applies to us globally.
Yeah.
And the third piece to our well-being is not only fitness, or not even fitness, be mobile, just be active. Enjoy nature, be active.
Totally.
Saber-toothed times, we didn't have a leg press and a lat pull down. We don't need to be in a gym. That's not what I mean. I mean, just be active in a path that you enjoy, and eating foods that are nourishing to the body. And I love your store so much, because when I say to people, it's in a base of shaga tea, and we've added some schisandra, and people are like, what?
Right.
Because they're so accustomed to Crystal Light or Tang, or you know what I mean? And it's so different. However, nourishing foods, here at the Light Cellar, just saying.
Yeah. And
the third piece that not a lot of people work with is rest and our emotional intelligence and our self-care and loving ourselves. That's the third piece. And you can be as fit as you want and eat as well as you want. If you don't have this third piece, it's not going to balance. That is still critical to our success and our health and well-being. So I personally think Corey's landed it for self-care with women.
Right.
I approach it differently. I work with energy in the field of Reiki. So that's the third piece. I work solely with the energy piece that way, and I send the women to Corey.
Yeah.
You know what you do with Corey for that.
And I love the other piece that you do. We can keep expanding out, what is health, right? And what does it really require to achieve that? And I think, livelihood, getting up and doing what you love every day, like
Right.
that is such nourishment, and that's so key for part of our mental, physical, emotional, spiritual well-being,
Financial well-being
and
too.
financial, exactly,
Yes.
right. And I love the path that you're on. You
Yeah.
help people become fitness practitioners,
Yes.
right, and trainers.
Yes, and it's the thank you for that. When I was guided by my coach to list my mission
Yeah,
and what's my vision and my mission, and it was like, oh, I want to be the number one trainer of trainers, and I paused because that actually wasn't my truth. Anybody
right,
can train a trainer. You can read a book, you can Google and become a trainer. That's not what I mean. No, no, no. My true passion is to grow the trainer. How can we grow the trainer to evolve into fitness as a lifestyle and not as a means of building biceps?
right,
How can we grow the trainer into that emotional intelligence where we don't train someone until they hurt so bad they can't walk? Beast mode, bitch.
right.
Because that's a person that's going to go home to a husband or a wife or children.
Yeah,
And if they can't sit on the toilet or walk downstairs because they hurt so much,
yeah,
how did that training session make their life better?
right,
If their purpose is, I want the confidence to have sex with the lights on, and then their legs hurt so bad, how much sex are they actually having? So there's
right.
this disconnect between personal training, beast mode, you gotta hurt, oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
hurt so bad, I can't even brush my hair, to real life people.
for sure.
No, that's not what we do. We want to grow the trainer so we can move away from body shaming and we can move into self-evolution where we change households with our methodology and our approach to well-being. And when households are living at a higher vibration, that means communities are.
Yeah,
And to me, it starts with growing the trainer, not training the trainer.
right.
So I use my classroom as a means to evolve each individual into the person of the highest vibration they can be in, to go in and influence success through leadership and example, not so much from, oh, I want big biceps. I mean, that's part of it and it'll come.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not it though.
No,
That's
for
not
sure.
the human connection. It's not the highest vibration we can work in. So truly my mission is to grow the trainer
Cool.
away from body shaming and ego-driven workouts into that's a person.
Yeah,
How can we evolve them into their best self
right.
to affect their family and their community as well?
That's cool. It kind of reminds me, I'm drawing a kind of a mental parallel of, how in nutrition we got all focused on like vitamins and minerals, and you can have vitamin water and you can have like beefed up protein, but it's like if you're forgetting the holistic approach, the whole food, right? And exactly like you're saying, like, growing that trainer who works with their clients in that holistic way. That's awesome.
How did protein ever become a 3 times a day shaker cup? Like that is one I get protein. It's a supplement.
Right.
Doesn't say protein staple. It says protein supplement. Its purpose
Right.
is to supplement a healthy diet, not be
Right.
a healthy
Be the
diet.
Yeah.
And in gyms, we're in a perpetual state of walking through people's fart clouds because
Oh,
they're not
man.
processing the extraordinary amount of protein and other fillers that they're
Right.
consuming, thinking it's healthy.
Yeah.
No, protein from nature's healthy. That came from a something of something
Yeah.
that's ingredientless this long. So I think the fitness industry and nutrition industry, for the bottom line, is missing the role of protein in a diet.
Totally, and also I'm getting this kind of image of, as you're saying that, the non-assimilation relating to that third part of self-care, of just like slowing down, like from the gym, and oftentimes in nutrition it's all about that like goal, okay, I gotta get this in, and it's like, yeah, there's that indigestion happens, because literally and spiritually,
I agree!
yeah, it's and we all have it. I'm not saying I'm perfect, it was a message of mine. It was like, okay, like too many projects on the go, like slow down. It's okay.
Yeah, and I'm just coming off, we're into August now, so up until February of this year, I can draw backwards 18 months from that, and it was I didn't know it at the time, it was the onset of adrenal fatigue. I didn't know it.
Right.
Shoulder injury, I'll just keep working through it, it's not that big a deal, it's no problem. And then, I still have all my work projects that I'm doing, but everything's a chore. I'm not sleeping, I'm in so much pain with my shoulder, and a myriad of doctor's appointments, and I'm still, running a company and presenting and teaching and traveling, and everything's still going on. And I lost my dearest loved one I lost, and long-term relationship ended with someone that I thought would be my life partner, and there was a big change in my career. My business partner at the time betrayed me, and there was a lot of life occurring, and I was just taking it all in and dealing with it. That's what we do. And it was a year ago, February, where Malcolm, I dropped to my knees and I sobbed in my living room alone for 36 hours. And it was again that suicidal depression, that engulfing of, God, just please take me from this earth. I don't have the courage to take my own life. I just don't want to be here. I have nothing to contribute. Everything is so hard. I don't want to be here. And throughout all of this, I'm so stressed and so wired. I didn't have the emotional wherewithal to make appropriate nutrition decisions. It's easier to grab a can of Diet Coke for the caffeine to get me through the day as opposed to eating food. And when I call it my crash, and a friend and colleague of mine, she's a nutrition, not a naturopath, but trained like one. And when she came to my home for a meeting, I looked at her and I said, I think I need some help. And she said, thank God. Gosh, I've been watching you spiral forever. And I said, why the hell didn't you say anything? Because I didn't even know. I didn't know I was in this much stress and this much darkness. She said, Andrea, if we came up and told you that, you would have told me where to go.
It's true.
I'm like, oh, you're totally right. I would have. Good call. And letting me crash and burn and then being there to assist me. And she said, you do realize you are in a very, very severe state of adrenal fatigue. And I said to her, no, I'm not. I'm not even working out. I have a shoulder injury. I'm not even working out at all. This is so not adrenal fatigue. And I was arguing with her about it. This is my state of mind. Where had I been a client of mine, I would have spotted it from the word go. I didn't see it. So Malcolm, over this 18 months, my health had declined through all these external stresses. There was no self-care going on. It was just beast mode, hands on both swords, fighting through and doing everything I had to do, even though my body was screaming. My heart was screaming. My mind was screaming, please rest. I didn't. So that was one of the greatest life lessons. Again, it was a turning point in my life. It was that shift into pause. Wait a moment. Maybe striving for the goal isn't actually it. Maybe peace with nature and self and, health, wealth, and relationships with friends and family is more important. So as tragic as that time was a year ago February when I crashed, it was this February, a year later, where I started to, the cloud began to lift and I started to feel better. And it came from absolutely being dedicated to making changes in my nutrition. It's the foundation of all health to me now. So radical self-care from a nutrition standpoint is, to me, critical for everyone's success in all fields. Now I spend time in the mountains more often. I hug trees more often. I walk on grass more often. And I honor when my body's tired. I sleep versus beast mode, bitch, and get all the way through, because it literally almost killed me to do that and not immerse myself in that radical self-care. That's the key to our healing. In addition to the fitness and the nutrition, of course. Just saying.
For sure. Well, I mean, it speaks to those deeper levels. Like, there you were in a field of health and wellness, and you had a lot going for you. But we all come up with different obstacles and challenges in our life, and it could just be purely emotional that kind of throws us off. But sometimes it's also physical too, and even as those experts or practitioners or whatever, we need the support of the community and others for that guidance as well. So true. There were so many times I would come in here for a meeting and I would sit, and it would just be every fiber of my being to hold back the tears, and I'm like, would you make me a beautiful me, please? And I knew that it was just a cup of total self-love and nutrient nature foods that would just be one step closer to my healing and balancing. And your store was critical to me and my success in coming in. Life still had to go on. I didn't have meetings in coffee shops. I had meetings here where I could put new nutrients in my body. And just the spiritual energy of your store is extraordinary. We're surrounded by reishi mushrooms everywhere and all the great high vibration food. And then your whole team, which are just brilliant and helpful, and they just exude love. This whole place is a place of healing to me. And I'm glad I got to spend so much time here. And I still do. Right on. That's good. Cool. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right. Well, I'm feeling good from you sharing and that compliment. So
Thank you for creating the space for me to share today. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
totally.
you. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, do you want to share how those watching, viewing can get a hold of you,
Absolutely.
connect with you online,
Absolutely.
in person as well?
Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Please shoot off any questions that you have, questions or comments. I'm easily found at andreathatcher.com, or, of course, you can find in one end and out the other.com. And when you go there, no purchase required, it's always my gift to you. Simply put in your name and your email address, and I'll send out to you a bunch of bonuses. There's a bunch of recipes. I don't know how to cook, I really don't, but there's 10 recipes in there that are so easy, even I can do. There's how to find your six-pack, and then a whole bunch of nutrition worksheets, like food lists that are nature, not Pop-Tarts. There's nature food, all my gift to you. So please, in one end and out the other.com to receive your free gifts, or anytime if you choose, Andrea at andreathatcher.com. Shoot me off any questions or comments, and I certainly welcome each of your messages. Thank you.
Yeah, right on. We'll have the links down below, and hope you take advantage of that. So thanks for
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, connecting
God bless.
today.
From my heart to yours, thank you so much for joining us today. Mwah!
All right.